You were wearing your watch bracelet the wrong way. I hope you aren't, but let's start off by recapping how the watch should be worn and how to achieve optimal fit. I will also present some tips to keep in mind to improve the longevity of the bracelet. A friend of mine always had to throw a fishing rod to rotate the watch back so he could read the time. The watch is worn on the wrist, behind that bone poking out. You want it to generally stay there, so don't wear it as loose as him, but it shouldn't squeeze your wrist either. If you can stick 1 to 1.5 fingertips underneath the clasp, it's perfect. Problem? Your wrist swells up and expands depending on time of the day and temperature. So if it fits you well in the morning, it might feel a bit tight in the afternoon, for example. You will have to play around with the micro adjustment of your bracelet to find a fit that works fine, no matter how your wrist decides to behave. If you're lucky enough to have an on-the-fly quick adjustment clasp, you can quickly adjust it without any tools, so you can go ahead and adjust it 20 times a day. But if you have a butterfly clasp, you will have to find the best fit by installing half links if you have those. My TSO PRX, for example, does, but I don't need them actually. One thing that I've seen even some jewelers do wrong when resizing a bracelet is they balance the number of links on both sides. This seems logical at first, but if you close the clasp, you will notice that it's not balanced anymore. You want the inner or bottom part of the bracelet to be 1 or 2 links shorter than the outer or top part. This of course depends on whether your clasp is flipped or not. You're smart enough to figure this out. If you have a butterfly clasp, this is not as important because those clasps are symmetrical. This was the main thing I wanted to convey in this video, but believe me, the rest isn't just filler. There is some actual value here, so do 1 rep for your attention span and stay here. Maybe even consider subscribing to Timeheim so you can be part of the first 1000 subscribers club and claim you're an OG in a few years. Thanks. Let's go on. When removing and adjusting your bracelet, consider using tape to protect the case from scratches. I am very bad at doing this, but I would if I had a luxury watch. Or let's just say I will do it when I have a luxury watch. Because I will, and you will too, so let's work hard together to reach our goals. But until then, you should remove your bracelet every once in a while, check if the spring bars rotate freely and give your bracelet a cleaning. Clean it in warm water with an old toothbrush or with an ultrasonic cleaner if you have one of those available. You might be surprised. Checking the spring bars is very important if you have a vintage watch. I've seen a very strongly bent one, and on a TSO PR516 I once bought, it had completely oxidized and fell apart just from me looking at it. So check this before wearing it, as it could lead to a nice small dent in your floor that will remind you of that time you dropped your watch and completely destroyed it. One last thing I try to do, which, maybe I am a bit weird, but it is to press the buttons of the clasp when putting on the watch, so I reduce the wear. I want to keep using my watches for a long time, and I have seen vintage watches where the clasp isn't as secure as it once used to be. So don't let the clasp snap in, instead press the buttons and then release them. Am I weird, or are we all mentally cooked anyways? Do you have any more tips? Leave a comment. This was it, no more filler now. Go get some sleep, but first, subscribe. Bye.